It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Vocation Brewing Company, and this is a special edition can. It's a can of their Sunset Overdrive Pina Colada Sour, coming in at 5.5% ABV in a 440 milliliter can. There's a look at it. Pina Colada Sour. This is the one, this is a beer for summer. It has to be. Now, where did I get this beer? I got this beer from Brew London 2022. And there's a bit of a story with not just this beer, but the previous beer that was in Brew London in 2021. Let's first of all get it out into a glass and see what we get here. I'm able to give this beer a relatively rigorous pour because it is a sour beer. That head should dissipate rather quickly. It hasn't, but that's fine. That's fine. We got a 2-finger white head. Good levels of carbonation. It's a straw-coloured beer with a nice haze going on. Aroma. Yeah, definitely pina colada, definitely sour. Interesting. I'm going to reserve my judgment for the taste on this one. I don't know if it's the pina colada flavour that they've added to the beer, or it's the souring that they've done, of course, to make this beer sour. But I'm getting a bit of DMS, I think, a little bit of... That's not helping. Putting your hand in the way when you're smelling a beer never helps. You're basically smelling what's on the back of your hand. Never do that. Never do that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a touch of DMS coming through. I'm going to reserve my judgment because, of course, if it's pina colada flavour and if it's soured in a certain way, then all of those attributes could affect the aroma of the beer. So I'm not going to say too much at the moment. I'm just going to dive in and taste it. Ooh. Yeah, it's fine. Absolutely fine. Ignore my initial DMS, which is I have to mention it because I've started talking about it now, which is a slightly rotting vegetable aroma and taste. It's a definite off flavour in the beer. It's not, thankfully, it's not in the flavour of the beer. It was just the way the aroma was kind of constructed. It's a slightly strange aroma, to be honest with you. I much prefer the taste of the beer. I much prefer the taste of the beer than the aroma. Thankfully, there's a lovely sourness coming in here on the back end. It's nice when a brewer calls a beer sour, and it actually tastes sour. It's actually got a nice sour taste to it. Yes, it's pina colada. That slightly coconutty, pineapple-y, summer, a drink for summer. It's sharp, it's drinkable, it's refreshing. The carbonation pushes the beer on the inside of the mouth, releases all of the flavour. It's a good beer. It's a good beer, I like it. But on to my story. I've got to tell you this story. Now, it's just come to me, thankfully. Back Okay, this beer was handed to me by Vocation at Brew London 2022. So bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. Let's roll back a year to Brew London 2021. And I went to the Vocation stand at the end of the first day. And I was looking at this, and I was looking at this particular beer. It was called Roll With It. And I was looking at this beer and how many cans there were and how prominent it was on their bar. And I turned to a friend. It was a long time ago now. I can't remember who it was. It might have been John or Paul. And I said to these guys, this is their next supermarket beer. This is the next launch into Tesco. And they went, really? How do you know that? And I just said, I just got a funny feeling, the way that the beer's prominent, the way it's set up, the way, you know, you're going to look at Roll With It first. And it turns out we were right. It turns out I was right. Roll With It did indeed go into Tesco in 2021. So visiting the Vocation bar in 2022 and being handed, spoke to this lovely American chap at Vocation in Brew London, and he said, choose a can, take it away. And I went, I tell you what, I said, you choose it for me, because I'd had a few, and it was at a beer festival, and I'd been drinking all day. I said, go on mate, choose one for me. And he handed me this can, and I don't know, maybe he just looked at me. But I seem to remember this look. This is the one. This is the one. So I'm going to make a prediction. For you guys. The prediction is that this Vocation Special Edition Sunset Override Pina Colada Sour will make its way either into Tesco, either into Asda, either into Morrison's, or either into Sainsbury's in the second half of 2022. That's my prediction. That's what I'm going for. The question is, should you buy it? If you're watching this in the future and this has landed in Tesco or Morrison's or Asda or Sainsbury's, should you buy it? But let's have a look. It looks good. I'm not overly keen on the aroma. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm not overly keen on the slightly... I don't know. I think it's the combination of the sour, the pina colada. It's not quite doing it for me. But, and this is the big but, the taste of the beer, first of all, thank goodness it's sour. Thank goodness it's sour tasting. They've written sour on the can. It's sour. Thank you, Vocation. It's got a lovely sourness to it. There's so many brewers putting beers into supermarkets these days, calling them sours, and they're just not sour. They are just not sour. It's like mixing up fruit concentrate. Oh, I'm not going to go down that road now, but it's like they've added... It's like drinking smoothie. It's like drinking smoothie Don Simon with a bit of blooming vodka chucked in. And they're calling them modern sours. Or, you know, I'm not jumping on one brewery here, but there's breweries out there that are not producing sour beer, but they're calling it sour beer, and they're sticking it on the supermarket shelf. And I think that's it's wrong. You can't call a sour beer sour if it's not sour. Again, just so we're not muddled up here, this is sour from Vocation. I quite like the pina colada taste. I'm going to rate it. It's drinkable. It's refreshing. 5.5% ABV. I'd only want the one. This is not buy a 4-pack, enjoy the 4 beers. I don't think I could drink 4 of them, but I don't think Vocation wants you to drink 4 of them. I think they want you just to enjoy the 1 can, which it is. It's a 1 can beer. You wouldn't want to be drinking too much of it. I like it. It's decent. It's a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.